Alright, AAF's been in the aftermarket race shifter business for around 10 years. We put in a ton of CAE shifters. We thought they were great at first, and they are a good shifter, but we had some customers that wanted the knob lower, some wanted them closer to the steering wheel, and then we saw some other problems with the shifter, like the mounting base. It doesn't mount to anything real, it just kind of puts four holes in somewhere near the big round shifter hole in the bottom of that chassis. So we wanted to do better than this. We knew we could do better than this. That's where the AAF shifter came from. That's why we have it, is because we wanted to do things better than what was already out there. We wanted adjustability in throw. We wanted adjustability in spring tension, which is something the CAE can't change. We want adjustable height on the knob so that you can run the knob up and secure it to be higher, or run it down and secure it to be lower. We wanted all those things to happen, so thus the AAF shifter exists. Mounting wise, like I said, the CAE doesn't mount to anything, so we make a mount plate for each chassis that our shifter goes into. These holes are factory holes. They line up to something in the chassis that bolts down solid, and then our shifter comes in and bolts through, in this instance, in 3 holes, and this one threads in, so that we have a very solid base to start from that keeps the shifter working right and not flexing. We actually had some of the CAEs break the chassis where they're mounted. That's why we did our mount plate. The shift shaft. So the adjustable shift shaft is an awesome piece. CAE had this. It was good. The problem we had with the CAE ones is that they have a single slit and one clamp hole, and they would come loose on us. We would have them move during a race. So we started tack welding every one of them to make sure we didn't have them move. Ours has 2 slots, one on each side, which gives it much better clamping force and can really lock that shift shaft down so that we don't have a problem with it sliding. So some of our customers wanted the shifter closer to the steering wheel or further away from the steering wheel. That's what these adjustment bolts are all about, being able to move where the center is on our centering spring. When you're doing that adjustment, obviously you need to move the shift shaft to mimic that. So if you want to offset closer to the steering wheel, then you loosen your shift shaft, set your lever where you want it, lock everything back down, and then lock your shift shaft back down. With that, you'll have to readjust your 5th gear stop, which is all about making sure that you're not putting too much pressure when you're pushing over on the shifter to bang that thing into 5th or 6th. All right, our polyurethane centering springs. This is a piece that we developed so that we could adjust the stiffness on the centering force of the shifter. So this is the left-right centering on the shifter and how stiff it is. So if you want it stiffer, we can get you a 3 or a 4 to make it very, very stiff. And if you want it soft, we can go down to a 1 that has a lot of hole in it and is much softer side to side. Every transmission's a little bit different that we put our shifters on. Some of them have really good centering, some of them don't. That's why we have all the different variety. They're a pretty easy part to change out. You can just pull the center section apart, put in a different spring, put everything back together, and you're going again without really disassembling much of the shifter at all. So it's an easy to change part if you want to try a different shift range. It's not a problem. So it can go all the way down to a very, very short shift lever and all the way up to a very tall shift lever. There's a couple inches worth of adjustment. Adjustable height is one of those important things for stuff like center nets. Now you can fit on there, no problem underneath that center net. But if this shifter was a little higher, it would be a problem. It could always be a little lower too if you want a little more clearance. Our shifter doesn't have a reverse lockout ring or anything. Instead, you just have to push hard. It's a lot of push to get that thing over into reverse. You're not going to get there accidentally. Centering wise, we can have it centered right here. This customer wants it pretty straight up and down. We've got other customers that have the center of the shifter in this neighborhood. I've even got a customer that's got one, we've got one right off the edge of the steering wheel, so that the distance between the wheel and the lever is very small. And that makes him able to shift faster, and he's very comfortable with it. So you're able to do whatever you want with it. The throw ratio, how far forward and back it goes, that's that pin that we're talking about at the bottom. And you can pretty much put that, this is the center slot. If you wanted to go longer, we could go longer. If you wanted it even shorter, you could do that as well with it. So it's very adjustable. You can get exactly what you want out of this shifter. Go to advancedautofab.com, check this out and all our other cool products. Thanks for watching.